This is incredible. Could anything else have possibly gone wrong with this RV on this trip? One of our belts is showing on one of our tires. So we're somewhere in Maryland. Okay, y'all, it took some wood blocks found around the Tractor Supply parking lot and a lot of curse words.
A lot of curse words.
That's supposed to be a circle.
Yeah, and you can see how warped that is. I jinxed us because we just had our first freaking blowout on the side of the road in Texas. If you thought that the issues that we had roadside were problematic, this is the biggest problem of them all. We hope that y'all are the type of people that like surprises, because we're excited to show you where we're headed and take you along for the ride with us. We are headed south. We're gonna go spend a little bit of family time in Charlotte, North Carolina before we head out west. $7. Boom.
You're close. Thank you.
7 plus 10 plus 22.50 is
I don't know. These tolls are adding up quick though.
$40.50. That's just my quick math. It's my kryptonite, by the way.
And we're not even done with them, so.
I told you it's my kryptonite. I just thought about it for a second. It's $39.50.
Notice I didn't even try. My mind doesn't do arithmetic, so.
95 South just went through Delaware, a state that you apparently can drive through in less time than it takes to drive 4 city blocks in Times Square.
That's actually true. That was so fast.
Well, even though we checked our tires right as we left, we've run into an unforeseen, oh, I'm going the wrong way, problem. And one of our belts is showing on one of our tires. So we're somewhere in Maryland changing a tire in a corporate office park right now. It's great. Thankfully, we got this jack that Victoria got to fix the RV a couple of months ago. And
Facebook Marketplace, baby.
yeah, it is coming in handy right now.
Make sure you chalk your tires.
This started showing about 200 miles into our trip. Not good.
We also made sure to get some of these jack stands, because it never hurts to have more than one point where you're lifting up. Just in case one fails, you got the jack stands.
Safety first, kids. This is from damage in Arizona years ago, so this is not the cause of the problem, y'all. Victoria got a little friendly with a boulder in the middle of the desert in Sedona.
And it's just this tire too, which means we should probably investigate further. A lot of times things can be out of balance, although it might just be because our axles were messed up. So
We're not a NASCAR crew, it's not fast, but
hey, that wasn't bad. I mean, I'd say it took us less than 20 minutes.
we're not done yet.
Well, shh.
Now back to the gas station where we found the belt showing to put air in the spare tire.
Very cool.
You got a big disco ball?
You should hang it up.
Is that the same size one that we already have? You can tell where this is headed. Roadside stretches in a but
Oh, I know why you made us stop on this exit.
an RVer's oasis in a desert full of gas stations without proper room to maneuver. Welcome to Buc-ee's. Barley, what you think? Any gas station with about 80 pumps works for us, right?
I gotta say, one place you'll probably never see one of these Buc-ee's at is Oregon or New Jersey, because how would you have enough employees to pump the gas?
That's true.
Thought we'd do a little Buc-ee's haul. We ended up with a pulled pork barbecue sandwich for Thomas. We ended up with a couple Rice Krispie treats, but not just any Rice Krispie treats. This one's fruity, this one is salted caramel, and then we ended up with some beaver nuggets, which I don't actually know what it is, but I think it's like corn pops.
We're about to find out. Day one of heading west, we weren't actually sure how far we were going to drive, but turns out it's about 8 hours. Charlotte to Meridian, Mississippi, 525 miles. We have already booked our RV spot for the night. It's a KOA in Meridian, and we got a pull-through site because that's going to be a lot easier as we are pulling in after dark. You know that polar vortex that smacked most of the country in the middle of January? Well, that's when we're driving across the country. So that is kind of why we chose to go a little bit more of the southern route instead of driving 40 across the country. We're currently 20 west in the middle of Louisiana on a pretty gloomy day.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Louisiana owes us some compensation for our suspension, which we're definitely going to have to replace.
This is not the first time we've complained about Mississippi and Louisiana roads.
Nope. Accurate.
The country because we need to be at my next contract, our secret location, within 5 days.
Now, if you're looking at a map and you're like, all right, if we're trying to figure out where they're going, they're on 20 west. Is that because they're going to be somewhere in the southern part of the western part of the country? I don't know. Maybe we're just trying to avoid the polar vortex. Guess you'll have to stick around to figure it out.
But honestly, there has been no escaping this polar vortex so far. I mean, even in Mississippi, it was definitely below freezing last night.
And we just made it across to Texas. Our total drive time today is going to be right around 9 hours. We're doing 550 miles, and we're going to stop at a KOA just past Dallas. We were shouting out Buc-ee's yesterday for all the space they have for gas pumps, but shout out to Love's because they always got the dog parks.
Yep, it's great to let the dogs stretch their legs every once in a while.
Shout out to the Texas DOT because it is smooth sailing on these roads, and you know, they say everything's bigger in Texas. Well, apparently the Department of Transportation's budget is too. You know, I know we rolled into this RV park when it was dark last night, but I had no idea that we stayed in Siberia last night because it is freezing.
I think it's the wind chill, but
Oh
it
my
feels colder than it did in New Jersey, so.
Ooh, Texas, do better. We RV'd up and down the East Coast all of last year, and we didn't see a single windmill. And now we've made it to the land And that is not to throw shade at windmills, because we're all about green energy. However, high winds do present a little bit of a challenge when you've got a 33-foot travel trailer hanging off the back of your truck. Apparently 3 days ago, I jinxed us because we just had our first freaking blowout on the side of the road in Texas.
And it's been almost 50,000 miles on this trailer. I'd say that's not too bad, and I have a feeling it has to do with the fact that that spare's probably just been sitting out in the elements for how many years now? We probably should have thought about it and gotten another spare ASAP. But.
Yeah, so that tire is completely shredded. I'll show you.
Ooh. I think it's shredded.
Not good.
Not the best situation either.
No. All right, we yanked the tire off. We're headed to a tire place that was 2 miles down the road from where we are, so we disconnected from the trailer, chalked it up.
Now Cody's just sitting on the side of the highway at a tilt. Makes me a little
bit of a tilt with the 18-wheelers going by. So we're gonna get 2 tires here, one to replace the spare and one to replace the original one that got pulled off the trailer the other day.
All in all, that was pretty fast. If you ever find yourself with any kind of tire needs in Colorado City, Texas, not Colorado, make sure you check out Matlock Tire Service. And I think we got a pretty good deal too.
$287 for 2 travel
RV tires. Yeah. New tire on. We are back and running up on the road, and I gotta say I'm pretty proud of ourselves. That's twice, I mean, at least on this trip, that we've had a pretty major breakdown, and we've been able to fix it ourselves,
Self-reliant these days with that 2.5-ton jack, I think makes all the difference.
Yes.
I'd say total time spent from blowout to back on the road, hour 15 minutes. It's not bad. That does mess up our drive day a little bit though, because we planned on this being our longest drive day in getting out of Texas, but I don't think that's gonna happen today.
Texas sucked us back in. We're staying here for another night.
Remember our shackle link problem back at Stone Mountain in North Carolina? Well, we might have that same problem on the road right now, so we got the supplies we need. Okay, today's Tractor Supply parking lot activity involves changing these shackle links, because as you can see, if you look at that one, there's a bunch of space above where the lug nut is. If you look at that one, it's going away very quickly. So we have all the things, we're about to switch it out. Okay, we got the links off, now we need to get the plastic tubes out of these holes.
Just loosening up from the edges, because this plastic's pretty much gone now.
Yeah.
And it's almost welded to the thing itself. Oops, look at that. Last one I used the bolt to push it all the way through, but this one...
Oh, there it goes.
Goodbye!
All right, now we got a
Where'd it go?
clear hole. I'd just like to point out our complete mess of tools that we have out here.
Oh man.
Trying to match bolts and everything. But now it's time to try and get this thing back on. So the 3 parts we need: the plastic tube to slide the bolt into,
Which is also known as a spring bushing.
a spring bushing, then you got the bolt, then you have the shackle link. Okay, y'all, it took some wood blocks found around the Tractor Supply parking lot and a lot of curse words.
A lot of curse words.
But look at what we just did.
We got 2 shackles done. Really, we were going to replace these, but to be honest,
We've been at this for almost 2 hours and we got ground to cover on our road trip. So that's gonna wait, but it's not nearly as bad as what the old ones were. So
that's supposed to be a circle.
Yeah, and you can see how warped that is, and only that much metal left to keep it on there. So Big difference. We had just thrown the spare in the back of the truck. Might as well get it back on the RV while we're at Tractor Supply.
Yep, but we're gonna try to put a cover on it, so hopefully it holds a little better this time.
Hey ladies, thanks for being patient in here. We appreciate you. Drive day number 4. We finally made it out of Texas, y'all. West Texas, just as desolate as I remember. But we're gonna land in Wilcox, Arizona as our final landing spot. 450 miles, I think we did today.
Yeah, and that's a little bit shorter than what we have been doing, just due to the fact that we had to spend a couple hours changing our little shackles before we left.
Yeah, and we have checked. They've held up after a couple 100 miles, no problem. So
Glad we didn't.
okay, about to wrap up at the Wilcox KOA. Rain in Arizona this morning. Go figure, this weather is not quite cooperating with us cross country.
Drive day number 5. Looking a bit of a mess, hair's up in a ponytail. You know, thank goodness though, it is our last.
For those of you that want to bust out your old school maps and protractors, or maybe you just want to ask Siri, we've got 365 miles left to our final destination from Wilcox, Arizona. So if you got any guesses, now's the time to make them, y'all. Okay, well, good news. After 5 days of driving cross country, we've made it to our new home base. And if you had Parker, Arizona on your bingo card, you're the big winner.
We're really excited to be here, and if you remember our Lake Havasu video, we are right down the Colorado River and the backdrop is absolutely gorgeous.
If you've been hanging out with us for the last 3 years, you know that this now would be our 3rd time with Victoria taking a contract in Arizona. The last 2 times were in Yuma, however, so it's a little bit of a change of scenery for us.
Yeah, but there's something about Arizona that keeps drawing us back.
Might be the fact that it's January, 70 degrees and sunny.
The world will never know.
However, we have an enormous issue on our hands. We arrived in the park last night, and when we woke up this morning, realized that between our last gas station stop and getting here,
Less than 100 miles.
our frame broke, and it's not good. As you can see, this is not a good situation. Definitely our biggest RV malfunction to date. The brace snapped off of the frame and folded back where the leaf springs are now up in the frame. This is how it would normally look. Honestly, we're just glad we got here safely because we didn't notice it till we arrived, and it could have happened anywhere within the last 100 miles of driving. So at this point, we really got to figure out what to do, whether we can get a welder to fix this, whether insurance will cover it, or our extended warranty, but we're about to find out. Like we said, super excited to be in Arizona, but with this issue, we're completely immobile right now. And honestly, we're not exactly sure what steps to even take next.
Yeah, it's actually really stressful. Like, I stress dyed my hair. It's been a lot.
So I guess we're gonna try and get this thing figured out, and we'll catch you next Sunday.
Maybe.